welcome back to Introduction to JSON with C#. I'm Christopher Harrison, that's Benjamin Lin. In the prior module, we examined the structure of a JSON file, took a look at all the different moving parts that make up a JSON file, but we were left with the question, how do we actually read a JSON file, and how do we actually create a JSON file? So, Benjamin, how do we do that?
OK, well, right now in Module 3, we'll show you how to do that.
Perfect. I like it.
We're going to teach you how to parse a JSON file, how to generate a JSON file, and so let's start with parsing a JSON file.
OK.
So I'm going to first talk about some tools we use to do this. So one of the tools is the JavaScript serializer class. It's built into .NET, and it's used to parse or generate a JSON file. The next tool is the JSON.NET library. Now, this is a third-party NuGet package you can easily add onto any Visual Studio application, and I'm going to show you a demo of how to use both of them. So here in my Visual Studio application, first off, I'm going to show you how to add the necessary steps you need to take in order to add the JavaScript serializer class into your project.
And the JavaScript serializer is part of the .NET framework.
Correct, but you still need to add a reference.
OK.
So you click References, click Add Reference, and scroll down, and the specific one you're looking for is the system.web.extensions. So you click that, you add it. After that, you need to add using system.web.script.serialization. Otherwise, your JavaScript serializer class won't work. And also, we're using some file I/O, so we need to include the system.io library as well. So in my file, I have a simple person class. There are no attributes, just a name, an age, and a toString override so that we can display our data on the console to verify if we have parsed our JSON file correctly.
So there's nothing that's special about that class. It's just a POCO, just a normal class.
Correct.
OK.
So in the actual code, what am I doing? So first, I am reading all of the text from my JSON file, which is included in my /bin/debug folder. I'm putting that into a string called JSON string. Next, I'm making an instance of the JavaScript serializer class. I am calling one of its functions, the deserialize function, and specifying the type as person.
And so you're specifying that type as a generic, and that's how it knows to return back a person.
Correct.
OK.
And then I'm going to write it to the console. So
what does that JSON file look like before you run that?
Oh, so JSON file, it's a very simple one. We have an object, name, age.
OK. So Bob and 52. So that's what we should see on the screen.
Hopefully, Bob didn't age. So, we run it, and Bob 52. So
perfect.
OK. So that is how to use the JavaScript serializer class. Now, the JSON.NET library is very similar. In order to add the JSON.NET, we use manage NuGet packages. We type JSON, and JSON.NET is the first one that pops up. Add this one. After
Which you've already done.
I've already done that. So, so be sure to include using newtonsoft.json and system.io because we are dealing with file I/O. So in my file, I have another person, same as before, nothing special. And I'm going to walk you through the code. So first, I read all of the text within the JSON file, which is in the bin/debug folder, into the JSON string. And let's see it. Bob, this time he's 5 years old.
So a long time ago.
A long time ago. And we use the JSON convert.deserialize object function. We specify the type as person because it's also generic. And we feed that into P1, which is a person.
So it seems like the major difference here is that here it's just that deserialize object is just available as a static method right off of the class, like a helper method. But with the JSON serializer, we actually had to new up that object. We had to create an instance of it in order to use that. That seems like the major difference here. OK.
So let's run it and see if it actually works. So Bob, age 5.
Perfect.
So that was parsing JSON files. So But how do we generate a JSON file?
Right. So if I have an object, how do I write that out to JSON?
Oh, well, using the same tools, the JavaScript serializer class and the JSON.NET library, you can do the same thing. So I'm going to walk through a demo of those two.
OK.
In my Visual Studio application, I'm going to uncomment these lines that basically they output a JSON file. So first, I'm making a new person named Ben, age 58.
You look very good for 58, I must say.
Thank you. I take care of myself. So I'm loading that into P2. I'm going to serialize that by using the .serialize function.
And that's going to give you back the string, the JSON string.
Correct.
Okay.
And that goes into output JSON. And next, I am doing some file I/O. I'm writing that out to output.json. So let's run it.
OK, so it's reading back in just because you still had that code from before, but it generated now that output JSON file, which should have Ben and 58 in it. So
correct.
Let's go see that.
So I'm going to go File, Open, File. It's in the bin/debug folder, output.json. Let's look in it. Ben, age 58.
OK.
So we verified that the JavaScript serializer class can do both generating and parsing of JSON files.
So deserialize to load it in, and then serialize if we want to write it out.
Correct.
OK.
And the JSON.NET library is very similar. So let's uncomment the lines of code that generate our output JSON file.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, age 46. My age keeps changing.
Wow.
So
you gained 12 years there. It's pretty well done.
Mm-hmm. So I'm making a new person, P2. I'm using JSON convert.serialize object to put that into a string, and then I'm writing that string to a file.
OK.
So let's run this.
And again, we see the prior read from before because that code was still there.
But there now should be a new file in the bin/debug folder. So let's verify if it's there. Ben,
Yep.
46.
Perfect. All right. So that really is all there is to it, to be able to read our objects in and to write the objects out. Read them in, it's deserialized. Write them out, it's serialized. And it really just needs to be in that JSON format. Perfect. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and wrap this module up, and then we'll come on back and take a look at a little bit more of an advanced example in the last module.
Yeah.
OK. All right. That sounds good. We'll see you guys in the next module.